Last year, every single week, I would go to church, and I really thank God for my church, Streams of Joy. I thank God for the leaders over my house, and it's something I've been really grateful for recently. Pastor Jerry and Mama, Jerry, the resident pastor in Streams of Joy, Omaya. I think for me, church was always a place of redirection, and it was not always like that for me. I I came from a place of hurt, and even I did not know how hurt I was till I began to attend church. And it really affected the way I viewed church. I felt like everybody was out for something, but the Lord has delivered me, or is delivering me from that mindset. But what I want to talk about in this video is just the fact that every time I would come to church, I would pray, and this only happened when I started to say this prayer. I asked God to always give me a word, that would direct my week, an instruction for my week. I didn't just want to come to church and just stay without gaining any type of influence on my life. I wanted church to be a place where I could get something for my week, something for my day, something for my year. And it started to happen. And I realized that something God was emphasizing so much on was prayer and study and just waiting on Him. There are times when you emphasize on a lot of things, but this one is something I knew that God was emphasizing so much on. Even times when I felt like I've done enough, like, God, can we go to the next? He's like, you will stay there. I don't know what I just spoke. He was like, you are going to stay there. And it just, I was just really glad for that type of redirection every single Sunday. And there's times where on Monday I will not pray and study, Tuesday I'll pray and study, Wednesday I'll not pray and study, Thursday I'll not pray and study, Friday I'll pray and study, and then I'll come to church on Sunday and God will be like and yes, after Sunday I'll get like a lot of fire for the new week. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that church is beyond a place you go on Sunday. Church should be an agenda that influences your life, an agenda that influences your week. I love going to church because I feel like it propels the starting of my week. It propels the starting of my week, and it is just so beautiful because even if you had no motivation for the new week to start, at least when you go to church, you are motivated. You see, last Sunday, Pastor was like, you should be valuable, you should be able to add value. That's why I'm doing this video. So I can add value. If I not go to church now, I'll just tell myself, well, anything goes. But as I went to church now, Pastor they said, add something in your life. Be valuable, be a merchant, sell and buy. Okay. So I'm trying to do something, right, to add value and in other walks of life. But what I'm trying to say, most importantly, is that church is more than just being a Sunday goer. Even if you're not serving in church, try to gain from church. Don't just go to church to do OOTD or GRM. Go to church and actually get something from church. Get a word for your week. Get a word for your day. Get instructions. It is very instrumental. God, that's why the church is there, the body of Christ. So that when you are feeling weak, you can't do it on your own. You can actually go and get redirection. You can actually go and get repurposed. Don't just do church as church. There's a lot of things to get from church, and this is even just one aspect for me, and something I just felt like after I said that prayer God was giving to me. Let Sunday services not be a waste. Let it not just be I used to set transport to go all the way to church and then I just came back feeling the same way. Let there be something for my week. Let there be something propelling me to go in the direction that God is taking me to, and it is so important. And this something, Pastor might be preaching something on something else, and God is telling me something else. So it could just be a word that Pastor said, and God is now going to teach me something else from that word. So even in that service, you still want to be so intentional to hear what God is telling you. Does that make any sense? So this time around, when you're going to church, tell God to give you a word in church. Tell Him to instruct you and redirect you in church. That you don't just want to be going to church. You want to actually see Him, and you want it to be able to influence your life. Because when that happens, you realize that Sunday is not just Sunday. And Sunday affects Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And on Saturday, we're getting ready for another time in God's presence to be redirected and instructed again. That's how we should approach our Sundays in 2026. So we're not doing Sunday as usual, right? Thank you.